What's up, YouTube? It is I, the 3D printing wizard. We need to finish these bears. These little guys. These guys need finishing. And what's not done is the bases. The bases need to be finished. So let's base some minis. And because they're polar bears, I'm gonna do some snow bases. So let me grab a box. Everything's organized as best as it can be. So I've got a box of my basing materials. I have, oh, that box smells interesting. I actually have snow. I have snow. Good old AK Wargaming snow. And crack this open for you. It is just gloopy white goodness. And we're going to apply that to all of the bases. So we're going to need a paper towel. Actually grab a glove. I'm going to grab a glove. A glove and some Q-tips. Alright. So I guess we'll start with this one. And what I like to do is I actually use these silicone tools here for getting everything into place, but I just grab an old cheap brush. This is a cheap old brush. I mean, you can see that like there's paint in the ferrule. It is a crappy brush. And you're just going to scoop the snow up and you start basing everything. Trying not to get it on the feet of the miniature. Oh, I've got messages. Hope everyone's having a good holiday. I know I'm going to be hanging with a family on Christmas Day. So that'll be fun. See the parents. Yeah, this is pretty easy. I mean, I'm just shoving this thing in every orifice and just kind of pushing it up, and then I'll use the silicone tools to smooth and add texture and get into the tight places. I'm just kind of putting a coating of it down most everywhere. And this does take a bit to dry. So yeah. Alright, that's the only downfall. Gotta find a place to put everything. I'm gonna grab this little guy. And I'm gonna use it to push this as close to every toe, or in between every toe as possible. And what's nice about the silicone tools, I can just clean it off without any issues. Everyone's just trying to message me on the messages. Yep, more messages. We don't need to worry about those. Okay. For the most part, this one is basically done. Besides cleaning the rim Be grabbing another tool. Let's grab the little pointy guy. Make sure in between every toe is nice and clean. Okay. Grab a fresh paper towel. Cleared off the edge. Okay, right there. There we go. Nice little snowy base. Okay, 1. 4 more to go. And this stuff will destroy your cheap Chinese brush, so please do not use an expensive brush when putting diorama material down, because not good. Not good at all. And one thing you can do is actually paint the base blue before you put the snow down, and that does work. Geez, this camera angle is just not good. Thought I had it set up where it would aim well. Let me adjust the camera a bit. So we'll do this to bring the camera forward and up. See if this is any better. Nope, and now I got material on my fingies. And there we go. Just getting it placed on the base. Jeez Louise. What did I do wrong in life to get that many messages in less than 10 minutes? Okay. Okay. Back to the base. So yeah, basically we're getting it fluffied up everywhere, and then we kind of come in with these fancy tools and just kind of even it out. because it likes to stay a little clumpy. It does dry fairly quick. I probably shouldn't have stared at my phone for that long. You know what? You only live once. Alright. Was getting that snow between the legs the most difficult. Yeah, like I was saying, you can paint the base blue before putting this down. You'll get a little bit better coloring. So I'm putting it on gray, black, so you kind of can see the gray and black in spots, but that's okay. Oh, geez Louise. I'm a popular boy today. Okay, another base based. It's not finished. I have to come in there and do a little... Oh, man. Go for it, paint. What's up, Mr. Go for it painting? We're working on some snow bases for our bears here. Hey, thanks for subscribing. So you say go for it painting. What do you like to paint? Yeah, I'll hop on and take a look. Oh, I'm still so popular. More messages. Oh, I end up getting some on its knee. That's not good. Oh, this is so smudging up this brush. That's why we use the crappy brushes. Put this stuff on. All right, let's get this off the knee first. So... Okay. Let's see. Get a little bit of water. Clean the knee. There we go. No more snow on the knee. Alright, get my toe brush. Clean these little toesies again. Okay. Alright. Back to these snow bases. Not too bad. Clean it up a little bit. Basically, clean the rim off. Man, that focus is off too. Hold on. Hold on. Manual focus. There we go. That's easier. There's a nice fluffy snow that he's standing in. Look at that. 2 more to go. 2 more minis that need... Remember, do not use your fresh fancy brushes for this. Keep a nice collection of old crappy brushes around, because oh man. I have gotten a lot of this stuff out of a brush, but never all of it. It's so gloopy. So very gloopy. I do really enjoy it. I haven't tried the let me buy the Vallejo stuff. I got the Vallejo like earth effects and stuff like that. Really good. I haven't used their snow. I do see that there's like icing and frosting. Like literally you add this stuff and a second part to it and it actually turns into frost. So there's some cool stuff if you wanted to make some really creative bases. I'm just being real simple here because I have hundreds of these Heroscape miniatures to paint. And basing can actually take almost as long as painting. So I really don't want to do that, because that would mean it'd take me even longer to put these into a game. I mean, they don't have to be painted. Could just leave them. I played with them unpainted for quite some time. One thing I'll say is the material on the side of the jar is definitely drier and harder to work with than what's in the bottom of the pot. Oh, and I got some on the fur again. But it tends to level itself out. It tends to smooth, and I think as it dries, it kind of fluffs. I think that's the word. And then it'll kind of shrink at the very end, right before all the moisture kind of leaves. This is all acrylic based. Ooh. That is gross. Like trying to use toothpaste as a painting medium. So as you can see, like here's the first one, kind of fluffs. So it looks like really smooth snow. Right now it's soft. It's still very soft, but it turns this beautiful matte white, kind of like a fresh snow. And you can add like snow on the miniature and stuff to really add some goodness to it, but I like to keep the miniature clear of anything. So, all right. See if I need to do any, like here, I definitely need to do a little touch up where it gets to that dark. So again, if I painted that blue underneath, I think it'd look more realistic. But yeah, not too worried about it. All right, let's package this bad boy up. All right. We finished the snow basing. Let these dry for a little bit. And once they're dry, we're going to paint the rims black, because that's going to look awesome. All right, and those will be officially done. So let's clean this up a little bit. I'm not going to use my nice clean water here, because that would, adding this stuff would probably fudge up my paintbrushes. Yeah, those silicone little tools work, clean up real good. Ugh, these garbage brushes, oh man. They are struggling now. Alright, so these need to go in the cleaning section. Won't need them the rest of the day. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to paint some acolytes. So these acolytes have a magenta red cloak, some very white bone, and then their hands are like an off bone color. I'm very confused. Like, the one in the back has white hands. So this one's the one in the back of the wings. They have white hands. But then these guys have like weird 3-finger hands that are off-white. So, yep. So you need to find a color for the robe. I think the closest color I'm going to have is this murder scene. So if I take this murder scene red and maybe add just add like a dash of purple to it. I think that would be the mix here. We're going to need some speed paint medium, that's for sure. We need some white bone, which will go with the blinding light. I think that's going to be our best for that. Their little chest tunic pieces look to be like a leather, light leather, but I think this bony matter might actually be a really good color for that. Any other colors? They do have a gold crown. We'll need some gold, but we'll get to that when we need to get to that. Their eyes are a yellow-green. I don't really think I can see the eyes in the sockets. Nope. So if you look, the sockets are just hollow. We won't worry about that. They do have some dark brown rope. So we need... It's probably a little bit too dark. We'll do hardened leather. So that should be most of the colors. So we got our hardened leather for the rope. We have our blinding light for the bone and the skulls. Just so weird that their hands aren't bones. Like I'm confused by these weird monster hands they have. They look cool though. Looks like there's some dark gray on top of each skull lantern to kind of hold the lantern in place, and that same belt color can be used for that, the rope for that. Let me grab a gunmetal gray. I think I have one. Yeah, we could do a Gravelord gray. Now I can make a gunmetal. It's not a big deal. I don't think broadsword silver's dark enough. Maybe I'll mix the two to make what I want, because that would probably be metallic. He has 4 hands? Let me find that acolyte again. Where'd he go? Oh. Yeah, 3 hands. Oh yeah, there's a 4th hand. Look at that. There's a 4th hand here in his chest. Okay. I can use that same broadsword silver to paint the knife blade. And then, yeah, I think that's about it. That same bone on the skull back there. All right. So one thing we do need to do, so these are a little bit different. So the last miniatures I did, the bears down here, they were all dry brush. So they were like this. So I actually dry brushed this in different stages to give it some different volumetrics. We have some light, dark, and almost white. These were zenithal highlighted. So what I did was they're painted black. If you look underneath, very black. And then you take an airbrush or even a rattle can, I like the airbrush, and you hit it with white from a zenithal, from a zenith. And yeah, you kind of get the look of light dispersing from top down on a miniature. And when you use speed paints, the whites, of course, will be brighter, the darks will be darker. But I do have to go in and touch up, because again, like this blade, I probably actually should have touched up with the airbrush. That blade should be much brighter. There's some bone in here that needs some work. So I'm going to go in with a dry brush. And we're going to grab our smallest dry brush. And we're going to go in and dry brush the blade a little bit brighter. We'll come in here and get the hands. We'll get these bones that are underneath here, the hand here. So just a few touch-ups here and there. I'm saying this guy's crown needs to be a little bit brighter. This rope down here should be brighter. So yeah, I've got little things to touch up. So we will need this tiny brush, our dry brush palette. Boom. And we'll move these paints out of the way for us. So we have the paints we need for our miniatures. Let these bears dry. We don't need... I guess I can use one of these. Only downfall of this painting area, there's not a ton of room. Not a ton of room. And then we'll put our little card up here so I can use as a reference. And a little bit of paint, water, a little bit of water. Boom, boom. And all this, if you guys remember from our dry brush day, was this just wettens our dry brush. This will keep the brush on, because you don't want an actual dry brush. That's a misnomer. Okay. We'll grab this bad boy, and we'll grab a little bit of white. And I have my mixing tool over here. I don't know how that sounds on there. Oh yeah. Because it's on the same table as my microphone. So that might sound bad. But that makes mixing these paints up way easier. Woo! Okay, we won't need much. Alright. Alright. Blade whiter. Look at that. Little metal piece underneath here. We'll say the tiniest dry brush is very hard to work with. It doesn't hold a lot of paint. Let me actually grab next size up. Okay. I'm going to touch up some other spots here too while I'm at it. That hand definitely needs to get brighter. Oh yeah, and the crown. The crown's going to be gold. Okay. Fabric edge. Okay. Can't complain about that. Painless. Do a little bit more on this skull because the skull is going to be white in the end, so we want that to be as white as possible. Oh, his skull face even whiter. Okay. Okay. Hey, what's up, Tabby? Yeah, getting a little bit of painting in while I can. Gonna finish these crazy dudes. Okay, that one's ready. Hiding back here is this guy. Skull could use a little bit. Edge of the fabric can use a little bit there. Crown for sure, because I should have put a little bit more paint on the crown. Would just have made sense. Bones. Rope. This rope on this side. How's Tabby today? You having a good, what is it, Tuesday? A good Tuesday? Hey. Alright, and then the big crazy guy. Yeah, I really got to make sure when I get the airbrush out that I spot, do some spot brightening in certain areas. That would save me a little bit of time with the dry brush here. And I am that accurate with the airbrush, so I shouldn't be ignoring my abilities in airbrush. All right, take this off. We're not doing any more of the crazy chemical stuff. All right. Clean the brush. Need the dry brush anytime soon. See how the bases are going here. Oh yeah, that's hard enough. So I'm going to go in now and I'm going to paint those rims black. All right, getting some Vallejo Game Color Black. Actually, we'll probably need quite a bit of that. Put like 1 drop of water in there because that is some thick, goopy goodness. Okay. There we go. That's perfect. Okay. We need to rim all of those bases. Yeah, we'll use a good brush. Why not? So we got a number 2 Sable Kolinsky brush. It's not a good brush. It's an okay brush. But you'll take a load of paint and you hold on to it really well. And we're definitely going to give this 2 coats. Look how clean this is coming out. Hey, look at that. Nice clean rim. Okay. Number 3. Yeah. Nice and clean. Remember, your miniatures are not done until you finish your base. No matter how awesome the paint job is on the miniature, you gotta finish basing. Those little things. Yep, starting to dry. We'll give that a second coat once it is dry. Ugh. Hard to get comfortable. I hurt my neck last week, or week and a half ago, and still tough to be in these positions for a long period of time. See how long I can actually paint for today. If I can finish those 3 Acolyte minis, I have had the most successful day ever. Alright. So you can see it finishes with a nice little satin matte finish there. We're just going to go over it second coat. More coats the better when it comes to this, because this is the part that's going to be bumping into things, and yeah. But we'll go in, when I'm all done, I'll go in and hit this with a matte varnish. I have a Vallejo matte varnish that I'll use on all my miniatures to keep them protected for a lifetime. Remember, once you varnish them, there's no undoing anything. Well, I mean, I guess you still can, but be very difficult to paint's starting to get a little off. Well, that's not nearly dry enough. That's not nearly dry enough. That's still not nearly dry enough. That one I just did. We'll wait. I guess while we're waiting, we'll talk about paintbrushes. So I like to, anytime I start a project, I actually like to open up a fresh paintbrush when I'm using contrast paints, and you're going to see why here shortly. So let's bring in the manual focus a little bit. So this is the paintbrush we used the last time we painted. And you can see the tip of the brush is starting to, I wonder if it's yeah, you can kind of see it starting to hook a little bit. So if you look at the paintbrush, it's almost like the very tip of it is starting to hook a little bit. And that's because synthetic brushes just don't last. It's also that the tip is getting very, very, like, doesn't have any strength behind it. So the more and more you start using these synthetic brushes, the more you'll realize just how, like, just how they just don't last. They don't put up to the abuse very well. My synthetic brushes, or my Kolinsky hair sable brushes, they last almost forever. Now this is an old one that I've used for quite some time, and yet it's like even the littlest amount of pressure just deforms the whole tip. Like, it is not, there's like nothing. That's because the bristles wear out. A little water on there, and yeah, it's, you can see the very, very tip of it's kind of splaying out. Kind of look at it background, see if I can focus any closer. It's about as close as I can get. And you kind of see the tip. Yeah, there we go. You can see the tip just kind of is deformed. Here's that. Here's my really old one. The bristles are just kind of doing whatever they want to do. Here's one I used last time, and you can see it still makes a fairly sharp point. But let me bust out a brand new one. So here's a same size number 2 precision brush from Vallejo. Yeah, they're not super expensive, they're a few bucks. But you can just see just how much sharper, like look how sharp that point comes to. Versus the one I used the last time. You can see how even the outside edge of the paint bristles are whitening, and that's just because of use. Like you're rubbing, the paint bristles are rubbing, so they're etching and getting softer and thinner. So they just don't put up to the abuse. So this will be the new brush for today. And refocus right there. But I do still keep these. These still can be used for other things. Like you see, I use them for painting the bases or putting on the gloopy grossness. Still kind of wet. Still kind of wet. Still kind of wet. Still kind of wet. Not bad though. Getting there. Oh. Yeah, I always switch. Like every time I start, like I might even grab this paintbrush for today. This is a number 4. Because you want to hold as much paint. I guess we'll go back to the overhead. When painting a very large surface with contrast paints, you really don't want to paint it in little bits and brush and brush and brush. So let me show you. What a lot of people do is they think they need to do this. They need to do this to paint. They need to keep slapping a whole bunch of paint in little areas like this. And that is a technique. When using contrast paints, you want to put as much paint as you can into the paintbrush, and then literally like softly cover the whole thing with the least amount of strokes. That way it's nice and even, because the paint's using, the contrast paint is thin, and it's really going to use your highlighting techniques underneath to show itself. So whatever is the whitest is going to be the brightest and most colorful. Whatever's the darkest is going to get the most contrast. So what's up, Mr. Viking? It's going to get the most of that contrasty paint into it and turn dark. And you want to do that as an even coat as possible. And if you use a tiny little brush, like everyone's thinking like, oh, I need a tiny brush to paint tiny things. Well, yeah, you got to imagine how many times like you'll paint like to here, and it got to get more paint to here. And then by the time you've painted a section, your paint's dry. So you're dragging dry paint on partially dry paint and wet paint on it, and it is getting all messed up. You want, again, to grab a big brush. So I even grabbed, this is a number 4, so it's even a bigger paintbrush head, so it can hold as much paint as possible. So when I come in and paint this large section of the cloth back here, it's not going to be all patchy. And I think actually, again, like we had some pretty big sections here, and like you can see how it's not patchy. It's nice and solid, not patchy, nice and solid. That base was still wet, and I just touched it, so I just ruined that. Oh, Tinker Atlas time. Gonna grab the thing I'm trying to wait and let dry. That's okay, we can reactivate wet paint with more water. So, boom. Acrylic paint's cool, it's waterproof when it's dry, but when it's still wet, you can always reactivate it with more water. See? Reactivate it with more water. So, fix that. You ready for Christmas, Viking? Should be Christmas Eve for you right now? Is that right? My math correct? I haven't been by the Discord in a little bit, man. busted the heck out of my neck. I just couldn't sit at my desk for very long. And then I got sick with a fever. So I just was just like, you know what? I'm not talking to people. Kind of got in a mode where, and I didn't sleep. I literally didn't sleep for like 5 days straight. And I did not feel good. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow's got to be close. What is it? It's 3 o'clock now? Yeah, 3 o'clock out here. All right, 2 more. Yeah, I'm not 100% there yet, but I can sleep now because my neck doesn't. It was one of those neck pains where it's like, doesn't matter what position I'm in, my neck hurts. I could lay on my back, on my left side, my right side. It was the dead center of my neck, like where the base of the head connects to the neck. I pulled it or strained it or something. I mean, it actually got like inflamed. It was so strained. All right, we won't need this fancy brush the rest of the day, so it's going to go in our pile of brushes to clean later. Let the bears dry. We'll start with this guy. He's already on the base. He's got the cool wings. They're going to get in my way, that's for sure. Let this dry. We won't need this anymore. Get a new towel. We won't need our dry brush palette. Boom, dry brush palette. Go over here and dry. We've opened up our new brush for the day. So again, we're going to do, I like to get all the stuff on the bottom done, but you also want to kind of go through, your speed painting, you kind of want to go light to dark. So you got these bones, which are just going to need a real quick touch up. So yeah, I guess we'll start with the bone and the wings, and then it's really tough to see what they have. Like I almost want to put a flesh tone. Like I know that it looks kind of pinkish, whatever, but I kind of want to go flesh tone. I kind of want to. I'm thinking more like this was something that was alive, and the flesh is peeling off its wings. So I have all my paints over here. Maybe this Crusader skin color for the wings, like it's flesh peeling. So yeah, we'll work on the bones first, but after I after I do the flesh tone in the wings. Hopefully I love this. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of those and 8 drops of speed paint medium. Oh, 10 something. Okay, so we're getting close. We still got a couple hours until Christmas Eve. I bought some silicone spooger brushes. These are solid silicone little tools I can use to mix paint and stuff. So there we go. There we go. All right. Wet the brush. And let's get to painting some fleshy bits. Merry Christmas, man. Thanks for stopping by. Always good to see the man, the myth, the Viking. Have a wonderful Christmas, and we will catch you in the new year, sir. All we're doing is being careful not to put any of this skin tone color on the bone, because you know what's not going to be easy is turning something that's supposed to be white, they made off-white, back to white. I mean, it's not that bad. You just grab a brush and paint it back to white, but... Yeah, we're going with that flesh tone. Look at that. That looks creepy. And it's definitely going to take a couple of coats. Yes, I do, sir. In your famous chair, in your famous office, in the Discord. Oh. Later, dude. All right. Oh yeah, getting in there in the wings is being a chore right now already. Yeah, look at that flesh tone. Yeah, we have some decrepit flesh. Kind of excited. I think we chose well. Picked. We've chosen well. More fleshy bits. Backside looks really cool. Forget to get in the holes. Yeah, some fleshy wings. Then we need a second coat to get that gray out of there. Kind of like we did in here. Might take a third coat. Not really worried about it yet. Mm. Get all the holes here. I want to look back and be like, oh no, I missed one of the gaping holes. Okay. And this is where we're going to get tricky here shortly. because I got to get in there. This is where being able to disassemble your mini would be wonderful. I would paint these wings separately. Right. Back to where we started and get second/third coat in some place. This wing is definitely much easier to get to places because there's just room to get the brush everywhere. There we go. Now that flesh is coming real. I mean, that's some creepy flesh. Yeah. That looks nice and creepy. I kind of picked these models because I knew it would be pretty easy to paint them. There's a little bit of detail here and there, but it's mostly flat, which is good practice. I don't get to paint enough miniatures that are just like a bunch of flat surfaces. Really works on your manipulating of the pigments. The holes. All right, and then we just got to get inside of this wing one more time, and we can work on the bone. The wing. Okay. Nice and easy. Okay. Fleshy bits. And let's come back. We'll wait for the dry. I'll come back and do some little darkening and stuff. There's like these little folds. I'll come back in with another layer and do that. But I'll wait for that to dry first. We're going to need some binding light for the rest of the bone. So 1, 2, 3, 5. Of course. 5. Always clean the nipples of your paint stuff off. Bone painting time. So, yeah, it looks like an off gray, and really it's just a really thin amount of gray that will darken in some of the joints here. All we need. And come in and highlight it a bit with white later. Okay. Or bones up here. All right. Yeah, look at that creepiness. Okay. Let's get his outfit. So we were gonna do a little wombo combo here. One drop of this purple swarm. And we'll do like 6 drops of murder scene. Maybe more. Let's do 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. Then 8 drops of speed paint medium. All right, give it a mixy mix. And we'll take a look. Yeah, I think we did pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. All right, we'll start on the back here. And you can see how it's collecting in the pools, pooling in the groovies. Paint's still a little wet. Don't forget to manipulate the fence a little bit. Don't pool in place you don't want them to pool. Manipulate. Oh yeah, we're getting there. We'll say I was not expecting it to be this detail oriented to get in these spots. That's okay. Cool. We will make it work. Yeah, look how even that's coming out now. And we can do, so you see how there's like a fold in here? We can grab a little bit more paint. We can just paint that fold part darker. So, yep, there's little things you can do to continue to make it even cooler. Okay. That continue to dry. Shadow detail here, here, there, there, here, and here, and here, here. Oh yeah. We weren't too far off. Okay. Now I did miss, in there is actually supposed to be that flesh tone for the wing. So let's do that real quick before that paint turns to poop. Okay. Since we have that paint, we'll go in here and paint some of those grooves a little bit darker. Here, and here, and here, and here. Okay. Nope, I forgot to get his hood with the purple. Get me skipping steps here. Load it up good. That excess paint up. A little bit too much in there. Okay. Oh yeah, nice and smooth. Go in there and do some brown. All the rope. I didn't pull a brown yet. I guess we can do this little chest area here. This little chest plate, which I think we picked was this bony matter. Don't need too much of it. 4. Speed paint medium. 3, 4. Mixy, 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 mixy. This will take a couple coats for sure. Hey, what's up, Tabby? Yeah, you know, making some progress. Blood work. Boo. Blood work is silly. Tell them you don't need my blood. I need my blood. Yeah, it's getting there. I just gotta figure out what I want to do with this. Maybe I'll, yeah, I think I'll continue this brown color down. Pallid bone color that I picked. I think that'll work just fine here. Kind of off-white parchmenty look. There we go. Now we can work on the browns, which I haven't made yet. But we're just going with hardened leather. 4, 5. Two, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Do the leather work and the rope work. Two coats of this brown. So we'll have to wait a little bit. We're actually going to paint the crown brown. It needs to be gold. Very nice, yes. Oh yeah. And I gotta get a little gunmetal here on the top of the little skull lantern. The hands are actually going to be that same pallid bone. I forgot about that. Yeah, they picked some weird colors for the skin tones, flesh tones. The hands. Kind of weird. Yeah. This'll be nice. Alright. So Grave Lord Gray. Oh, that is a disgusting. Mr. Chris, you gotta wash the tips of your nipples. 1, 2. 2 drops of that. And then Broadsword Silver, which is a darker silver. We'll do 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna use a different brush because once you use a metallic, it's game over. Oh, that's not speed paint medium. 5 drops. 2, 3, 4, 5. Use our Mixie Mix tool. Yep, that'll work. And we'll grab a different brush, and we'll grab a smaller one. Paint that little metal bits. I think this helmet actually needs to be that purple as well. They don't have the same helmet, so to make this printable or moldable, oh, that's too much. Soak it up, rub it around. Time to get some gold. Time to get more of that metallic color in there. There we go. Let's get the gold. Acolyte gold. And we won't thin this at all. A little bit of gold. Bottom of that well. 4 o'clock. Doing good. There we go. That's some gold. And then we're going to go back in and fix that brown bits. Gentle. Go. Yeah. He's looking pretty good. Oh, there's much else for me to do with him. Touch up his cloak a little bit and put some more detail on it. Alright, I think we might be done with this one. Okay. Next. Guess we can continue with the purple. Okay. Okay. Cool. He's got a lot of fabric. We'll have to make more paint for him. So we're just going to use up the last of this, whatever I made for this cloak. Copper to crown. All right, more purple power. So we'll get the bones. Yeah. It's chest plate thing. Awesome. Making progress. I like how this mini is a ripped off arm. I think that's still neat. Paint the crown brown first. Oh yeah. Getting much closer to victory. Gold crown time. Mix the paint because that mica was settling. Oh yeah, gold crown. Tiny brush. All right. One basically done. And last one. We need a lot of purple. We're going to need quite a bit of purple here. Okay. Well. One drop of purple swarm. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7 drops of murder scene. And 8 drops of speed paint medium. Mixy, 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 mixy. Discord message. Oh yeah, getting that purple done. There's any areas I want to darken over here now that I got plenty of extra paint. Okay. How that looks. All right. The purple we gotta get in tight areas, which is already messing up. You know, let's get a smaller brush. This is where the tiny brush is used. Brown. Broadsword silver. Don't need much because we're just painting the blade. I do need a touch up. My white is no good no more. We got a little bit of purple where we shouldn't have gotten purple. So we're gonna get a little bit of white and touch it up. Okay. Perfect. Bone colors. We need pallid bone. All right. Bony matter. That's what we paint the inner cloak. Keep forgetting if I turn sideways, I can paint easier. Ropes. With the brown. And the reason we do that is we always pick a color that's actually in it. So if you paint any metallics, like silver, silver works, or go to gray or black. There's no black or silver, gray, and gold. It's brown and yellows and tans. Remember that. That'll help you make better golds if the base color underneath is one of the colors that actually would be there. Rope in the eyeballs of this bird skull. So good. Okay. Oh yeah. Gold crown time. Purple. Darken some of these recesses. All right. Think we did good. Oh. Oh no, my backlight turned off. It's not a timer. I was gonna stream like 2 hours before I actually started streaming. I just didn't feel good. Just kind of waited until I felt my best. Let's take a look at what we did here. So, manual focus. Yeah. Look at that. It's almost like we're almost getting good at painting miniatures. Here's that first one we did. Love the little flesh tone wings. And our middle one. Love the rope detail. And the missing arm. I think that's cool. And we just got to finish the bases at some. I mean, I guess I can finish the bases now. There's more detail I want to do. I'm definitely going to want to pick another day to come in. I'll come in and do some highlighting on the fabric, and we'll add some highlights on little areas, and yeah, we'll make it look cool. But I think we did pretty good at cloning the look they had there. I mean, mine matches more with that. I mean, there's a little bit redder, I think, but I like the purple. I think that's just more grimdark. I don't know. I think we did good. I think we did good. I'll probably get some maybe mud. I've got so I use the snow. See how these bases turned out. Yeah, there we go. The snow bases turned out great. Instead of snow, I'll use the mud, like they're on dark earth, and then I'll paint the base black. Oh, I can see where I made a little bit of, oop, wrong brush. Paint the undercarriage right there. Everything else I painted undercarriage on. I'll just touch up this spot too. Yep. Cool. More brushes to wash. I gotta wash this brush. I gotta wash this brush. I gotta wash this brush. I think I gotta wash... This one I did not use, but this one I did use. So, yep. More brushes to wash, but my first set of Acolytes are basically done. Yeah, it was fun. I didn't talk much, but I'm a tired boy. But I'll get my rest. Let's see, we used 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 brushes. Well, technically this is a brush too. Oh, and we use this one. 10. 10 brushes. All those off. Oh, yay, good job. Yeah, we'll take some picture of these. Post them up in the chat. Yeah, we did good. So let's see, 2 hours and 20 minutes for a stream. And we finished 3 miniatures. I mean, they turned out really nice. Oop, right. Oh, that focus is way different. All right, right over here is where I want the focus. Yep. Yeah, I think we did good. There's some highlighting and little things that I get done. They're kind of flat, but I'm not going to finish an entire box of miniatures at this pace. Let's see here. Where is it? Here's more that got to get done. So many more that need to get done. So it's a big box of miniatures that needs to get painted. Oh man. So on that note, everyone have a wonderful day. If I don't see you for Christmas or Christmas Eve, Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful time. Hope you get to spend time with the family and do cool things. If not, just do cool things. Have fun. Play video games. I'll probably do the same. I just got to do a little bit of family time. And after that, I'm good. So, yeah. Tabby, as always, thank you for coming by. Viking, thanks for coming by earlier. Go for it painting. Let me take a look at your YouTube channel now that I'm not worried about paint drying while I'm working. Uh-oh, Ryan's calling. Hi, Ryan. What are you doing, buddy? Oh, nice. I'm live streaming. Well, I'm finishing up a live stream. Yes, I just finished painting 3 miniatures. Yep. Yeah, sounds good, dude. Bye. Okay, so everyone, have yourselves a fabulous holiday. And we will catch you. Yeah. And also stay out of trouble. Don't do any troublesome things. So we'll catch you later. Tabby, thank you. Viking, thank you. Everyone else has stopped by. Thank you. We'll catch you later. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon.